And welcome to video 1.6, solving proportions. Make sure you write down all your notes and bring in your questions for class tomorrow. And here, yet again, another funny picture of a French bulldog in a wig looking a little bit like Lady Gaga. So some definitions you need to get down. What is a proportion? A proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal. Again, a proportion is an equation that states that two ratios are equal. So for example, A over B equals C over D is proportion. You read this as A is to B as C is to D. Also using some numbers, 2/3 would be proportional to 4/6 if they are equal. So example 1, solving a proportion using cross products. So we can use proportions to find missing values like we do here. And what cross products is you multiply diagonally. And you guys have mentioned this before in class, doing this for different processes that we've done. So if you know this, great. If you don't, make sure you get it down. So what you do to solve for your missing variable of m right here is you multiply diagonally. So we have 7 times 12 equals 8 times m, or 8m. Now we can just evaluate. So 7 times 12 is 84. 84 equals 8m. To get m by itself, I will divide by 8, and we're left with m equals 10.5. So to make these two ratios equivalent, and a proportion means that m here has to be 10.5 in order for this to be a true proportion. You will also see proportions that have expressions in the numerators instead of just a number. And if you ever see this, know that you just have to cross multiply again to find out what this variable is. So we're going to cross multiply diagonally, and we get 4 times b minus 8 equals 5 times b plus 3. And now I just have an equation that has variables on both sides, and we've solved these before in class, so we're going to solve them now. So we distribute both terms. We have 4b minus 32. I saw in the quiz a lot of you forgot to distribute to this last term here. You can't forget to do that. And then we have 5 times b, which is 5b, and 5 times 3, which is 15. And now all I'm going to do is combine my like terms. And it doesn't matter if I move the constants first or the coefficients with the variables first, as long as I move them by using the opposite operation. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is add 32 to both sides. And cross those out because negative 32 plus 32 is 0. And we're left with 4b on this side of the equal sign. We still have 5b over here, and I'm going to combine 15 and 32, and that is 47. So right now we have 4b equals 5b minus 47. Now I want my variables to be on the same side of the equation. So what I'm going to do is take away 5b from this side and take away 5b from this side. And I'm going to move that up over here. 5b minus 5b is 0, and we're left with negative 1b equals 47. I'm almost done. I need to get rid of that negative, so I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides, and we get b equals negative 47. So if we were to plug negative 47 in for each of these terms here and evaluate, we would get a true equation. Just some reminders when you're trying to do your hot question and when you're practicing this in class tomorrow. Always use cross multiplication when solving proportions. It's the easiest way to solve for a missing value. And then once you cross multiply, make sure you use your knowledge of solving equations to help you solve the proportions, because you guys have done some great things with equations in class, and you just need to keep building that knowledge in order to solve your proportions. So your hot question, ready to work it out like this little guy right here. What is the solution of the proportion 4 over 3 equals 8 over x? Remember, look back at your notes. Use cross multiplication and tell me in the hot question doc, what does x equal?